Hi guy, welcome to a bit of a cheat of a package video because I've already opened it. Basically I've just gone and bought an AV Famicom. I had a bit of a nightmare getting this because it got caught up in customs, and I mean I've got it for about 80-90 quid on eBay plus postage charges, whatever it was, about 35 quid. And then yeah, bloody customs caught in. There's like a £45 charge. Absolutely nuts. I mean, for the age of the system and everything. I mean, anyway. Well, yeah, I've had Famicom stuff before. Last one I had was one of my old videos years back. I had a Sharp Twin Famicom, which was probably one of the best versions of that system that I think you could get, because the disc unit and the Famicom console all in one nice box, all works together. But the problem was the controllers were absolutely tiny. Like, this is the one on the AV Famicom, which is supposed to be better because it's like probably a couple of feet long. But I mean, on the Twin, it was maybe you could knock that much off, you know, about a couple of cans worth of length. Now, the AV Famicom I got because it's got, well, it's AV for a start, and I could plug it straight in the back. My old Famicom, it was my old my Sharp Famicom did have that. But for some weird reason I could never get the right power pack plug to work with it, because it was a really funny connector. And in the end I ended up having to buy, I tried several different ones, and I got this universal adapter which would work, but if you again look back at my old videos you'll see like loads of, it's like skipping lines down the middle of the screen, and that's because the console just could not draw enough power, and there was nothing else I could do about that. So I think after a while I just got bored and sold it. But anyway, the reason I've got one of these is because I've been working my way through Game Center CX and watching the main guy on that. It's a Japanese game show, in case you've not heard of it. So it's all subtitles online. I think it's called, I can't remember, it's GameCenterCX.com. It's showing, I've got all the subtitle versions available, and they were just doing loads and loads of challenges on Famicom games. And when you've been watching about 20 or 30 hours of that over a few weeks, you start getting urges to like, oh, I should start playing them games. And so anyway, yeah. So I picked up a nice big full package of this. It all works. I'm very chuffed with it, so I got it all today. I also bought a few games with it, and a couple on the pal. There's loads more to come, but these are some of the ones I got today. This one's Night Gundam Story. I've not fired up any of these. I've just spent an hour cleaning them all. I use isopropyl and a couple of cotton buds, and it has taken, they were filthy. I mean, you know, with the NES cart collecting, you would spend maybe 5 minutes giving them a good thorough clean. Some of these were 10 to 15 minutes. They were disgusting, but I don't know. I don't know what that one is. A lot of these games covered in Japanese lettering, and you just have the pictures to go off. Tower of Druaga, yeah, nice picture on the front of it. Devil World, I had this on the Twin Famicom. This was one of the packing games. I mean, the AV Famicom came with, Devil World was one of them, and it come with a Mario collection, which is why I went for it. But you got the original there, Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario USA, which was the converted version of Doki Doki Panic, I think it was called, which was made into Super Mario Bros. 2, released in the US as that, and then Japan released it as the USA version. So, same game, Japanese writing. Mario Bros. 3, obvious, I mean, classic game. And Clue Land, I think I've had that before as well. But it wasn't bad for packing games. Most of the AV Famicoms had nothing with them, so I was a bit chuffed. This one came with 2 pads. Oh, I should say, sorry, actually, I bought the disc system separate. Another seller, Japanese seller, had it on for about 25 quid. And he'd replaced the belt, which is a big plus, because it's a bit of a pain pulling that. I've done one before, many years ago, and I remember it being a right pain in the back, but this guy's already done it, so I went for that. Let's have a look at some of the others. I know it's oh, there's titles on the top. It's a Konami game. Yaya Kung Fu. Yeah. Sky Destroyer. This is meant to be a fairly good game. I bought a pack of 10 games off the AV Famicom seller as well. He charged me about 15-16 quid for them, and then about a tenner postage, so you couldn't complain at that. Packland. I don't know what this one is. There's no label on the top. If anybody recognises it, put it in the comments below. I hope it's not an RPG. That's the only problem with the Famicom games. There's loads. There's like 1,000 titles on it, and a big chunk that never came out on the NES anywhere in the world. But most of the best games are bloody RPGs. I think this is a shooter. Exion. Yeah. A classic which everyone seems to hate. Top Gun Dual Fighters. I'm not sure, is that Top Gun 2 or the first one? I don't know. And I don't know what this one is. Well, anyway, fuzzy picture on the side. And it's over. Again, I'm talking around the camera because I'm going to show it off in a minute. I got some pirate games off. I forget the website now, but it was an eBay, so I've had his own site. But you know, multi-cart cartridge, and this one's got Tetris in, Olympic Soccer, I think that's Nintendo Soccer, and Bomberman. Bomberman, really, I saw that. It was a $5, including postage, so couldn't turn that down. Those ones work, by the way. The first games I tested, because I got those at the beginning of last week. I've just not been able to do anything with them. This one is Load Runner. That'll be Load Runner. Sky Destroyer. I've got that again then. Donkey Kong, that's Donkey Kong Jr. by the way. And that Super Mario is actually called Super Mario 2, and it's not the Lost Levels, or it's a pirate hack. I was hoping I'd be able to resell the first Super Mario Brothers, because it's worth probably worth about 6 or 7 quid on eBay, but you think you could buy another Famicom game or two with that. Right, the disc games. The disc system on the Famicom is one of my favourite games ever, but it's so unreliable. Not just because of the hardware. I mean, usually when you put a new belt in it, that's fine. You can manage with that, and you'll get a good few years use out of it. But there's also now, because you know it's 20-30 years later, those belts, it's just a rubber strip, and if they got too hot, they would melt inside the machine and break apart. You know. But nowadays, you know, because they've refined, I don't know, rubber and creation products, you can get like these clear rubber type belts, which once you put them in, they're going to be they'll last for like literally 20-30 years without even needing to be looked at. So hopefully, if this ever, I'm keeping this one. I've decided, by the way. That's why I went for the AV Famicom. I'm going to have a crack at building a nice, decent sized chunk of Famicom cartridges, because it's quite a fun system. And one thing I'd like to do. Excuse me, I got a bit of a bad throat. I'm looking at getting a NES to Famicom adapter to stick in the top, so basically I can start collecting NES games again. I'm tempted to go back into that, mainly because I discovered an old backup on my Nesbit website from a few years ago, and I was talking to a guy I've dealt with recently off the back of a podcast I've been doing. I'll get to that in a minute, and I sent him these files over, and he put it up and was able to host it, and it's just there. So if I ever want to bring back the Nesbit site, I can do. So I'm giving some serious thought into that. But of course, with the Nesbit site comes the look at, oh, should I be having a NES collection again? I mean, I originally got rid of it just for I was desperate for the money. I needed to clear some. I've said in a past video, you know, I needed to clear some debts off, get stuff sorted, and retro was one of them things I just let go, and I had some time away, and now I'm working my way back into it slowly. Anyway, I'm rambling, but sorry. Let's have a look at the Famicom disc games. The first one is just called Volleyball. Now there's about 200 of the disc games, and what I'm trying to do is most of them, a big chunk of them I'd say, again they're all like, not graphic adventures, but like text adventure or action adventure RPGs, which I love to play, but there's no conversions of them, and I don't know why. I've been struggling to find like ROMs for Famicom disc games. I don't know if it's just where I've been looking, because one thing I wouldn't mind of doing is getting an EverDrive N8 cartridge, so you can plug it in the top of this beauty, and then put all them type of games on the SD card at the side, because it'd save me a fortune on some of the stuff. Because there's one Famicom game I want called Holy Diver, and it's like it's pretty much like the Castlevania games. It looks very, very similar in look and play style, but rather than a whip, the guy can throw like I don't know, kind of like balls of magic, and he powers up as you explore this huge castle and things. It's a really, really good game with some fantastic music. Because another thing the NES didn't have in any of the countries was this sound chip or something, and I'm not sure if that's because the sound chip went in the Famicom cartridges but not in the NES ones, or if it was actually in the Famicom itself. But a lot of the games sound a lot better than they do back on our end of the world. Castlevania 3, I think, is meant to be a perfect example of that, but I've not got one yet. I will do it at some point. So anyway, that's volleyball out the way. This came with a system. It's just golf. It's got Othello on the other side. I'll just crack one open so you can see the discs. This is why I love these, because they're like Fisher Price toy things. They're just nice and chunky, and this yellow plastic. And they come in different colours, and usually the different colours are pirates, because Nintendo only did the yellow ones and the blue ones. I could never understand the blue ones come with like a plastic cover to protect this part of the disc, and I could never understand why they didn't do it with the main yellow ones. But anyway, yeah. And the last game, I've already tried this just to test my disk drive out, which is working. I thought it was Ultraman Club, but I got the title wrong, so I made a bit of a balls up there. I'm a bit annoyed because again, I think the seller's written it down as being one game, and it's not actually that. It's a different Ultraman game. The Ultraman game I want is a Mega Man style action platformer. And this one's a bloody RPG, so it's useless, you know, you can't work it out, too much text, can't be played, so that'll be going back on eBay possibly. So yeah, let's have a quick look at the system. First up, I mean, one of the main things I thought about the AV Famicom is, oh, it's got a longer controller, this will be fantastic. I haven't really got anything to compare this to, but like, this is the control. You can see why it's called the dog bone, but just to hold it, I mean, I've got fairly big hands, right? Famicom cartridge, probably 3/4 the size of a can of Coke. I mean, just compare a NES. Oh, actually, I've got a USB NES pad. 1 second, let me reach over and grab it. So this is the perfect comparison, nice and tucked away in the cupboard. This is why I didn't worry too much about collecting NES games. I love the NES, it's my favourite ever system. And at least when the collection went, I thought, well, I'm going to keep it. I got a USB NES pad, and this thing's absolutely fantastic. The D-pad feels great, it's responsive, it works on my Mac, any PCs I've ever had. It's absolutely amazing bit of kit. But like I say, just compare it size-wise to the two there. It's actually not that far off. I mean, the pad, the NES pad is much. It feels chunkier, and it is a pain to hold around the corners. But it has that bit more extra weight. Well, that thing, it does feel like a dog bone. It's dead light. It's like a tree, a dog tree. I don't know if you've got any pets, but you'd know what I mean if you felt one. So yeah, alright, let's just have we'll just fire a game up. You'll have to mind the mess of cables, because I've literally got it out of the box. Oh, I've got an Xbox One, by the way. I rarely ever play it, and I thought I'd turn it on today because I know they do fairly regular updates, and usually the updates are about 300 or 400 meg, and today I turned it on, and it's a 1.95 gig, and it's been doing it for 2.5 hours, and I just tested it an hour ago. My broadband speed is like 7 or 8 meg download, so I don't know what the hell's going on there. But I digress. Let's put the old Famicom on. Let's just pick a game. Let's try this one again. This one with the funny people on, and we'll see what it's like. Let's fire it on. Oh, hang on. Change the channel. Source. This is a massive TV now. It's either a 40 or a 42 inch, but I rarely bloody use the thing. Right, hang on, side AV, that should be the right channel, here we go. Culture brain, right, we're off. Oh, I thought it had blown up or something then with this power pack. Nope. Let's have a gander. I think this is an RPG. But again, I'm using the AV thing on it, so it's just the yellow and the audio cable on the side of this TV, and I've not messed with any of the settings, so this is exactly as it looks. But this TV's got like pixel sharpening and all these fancy options, so it's a bit like what you can do on the PS3 to some degree. You know, on the PS1 games where you can like smooth off the blurriness and stuff around pixels. So I might have a play with that later. Okay, I think that was one player. I'm just pressing AAA all the way. I mean, the fascinating thing about the Famicom is because so many of the games didn't come out. Yeah, this is an RPG. Look at that. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get far on this one. Nifty music though. But the amount of games that came out there which just never got saw over here because Nintendo America just didn't think they were suitable. Hang on. Whoa, that's a bit weird. I can jump and oh no. Come on, Sonny, go on. Ah, down you go. Anyway, let's have a look at one of the disc games. And the disc system, like I said, is a bit more complicated. It's not like the twin Famicom where you literally you turn the system on. If there's a cartridge in it, it loads the cartridge. If there's a disc in, if there's no disc in, it would load the disc screen. But to run it, I have to put in the it's like the black RAM cartridge. Let's just fire that on, and when you do that, you get, in theory, no, oh god, it was working before. Let's try plugging that in again. I have a mess with the cables on that, but that's not gone a bit too well, has it? Oh well. Hang on, let's have a quick gander at one of the other pirate cartridges. No, Famicom's gone. Anyway, I think that's as good as time as any. That was just a show off of what I've got on the AV Famicom, and it's quite a good system. I'm going to have some fun with that, I think, with some of the games. So, as always guys, thanks for watching and look forward to another video soon.